So we are out of the mud for a while. You know, we've done the pond, we've done the river, and now we're back to some demolition work. So we got some old pole barn here on a property that a friend of mine farms now. And the deal was that he would tear down some old buildings on the farm as part of his farm agreement, I guess. So we got some odds and ends of things around here that we're gonna clean up. That wire, I'll take that and I'll run that through the stripper and clean it off. That's aluminum wire. We'll recycle that. Alright, so we're gonna get these doors off the end of this building. That was the last thing that he had to get off, and he got busy doing some other things and said if I could take them off for him, he'd be appreciative of it. There you go. He just wanted to scrap from them. Wasn't concerned about the doors, so I am actually going to be harvesting something myself out of this building. It is all built with utility poles. So I'm going to be harvesting the utility poles for my corner posts for my cattle fence. And some other fence posts I need to put in for like the dog fence and all that. We had that one viewer that wigged out over me using cattle panels as temporary fence. He got all upset about that. And the cattle panels are just temporary. I'm actually going to I'm going to take 2x4 wire and make a proper fence around the whole yard for the dogs. The cattle panels were just temporary to get us going for now. And while I got the yard established, there's some irrigation pipe here that I didn't know was in the bushes. Didn't see it. I don't think it's any good, actually. Yeah, that's all stuff that was reclaimed from somewhere else. That's why it's pushed together already. Partially buried anyway. Been there a while. I think they moved some pivots on this farm, and this water line was extra that they had gotten from somewhere else. Let George get that out of our way real quick. Thank you, George. It's pretty good stuff still, because I sat on it at 220 and didn't break it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and see if we can get some of this metal off the end here. But these are good utility poles, and I can use them for corner posts. And I might do a small shed of some sort eventually, so adjust that camera so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to be working up high instead of down low. Usually we're working in the ground. It's a nice building, but the lady that owns the place doesn't want to pay the taxes on it anymore, which I understand. So she said tear it down and get rid of it. I don't want that rafter. A little bit rusty at peeling tin off. It's been a while. And this tin's all held on with them ring shank nails, so it's a bear to get off to reuse it for anything. It's not a bear to get off of the excavator though. Nails in some of these sheets. There we go. We're gonna pile all this wood up and burn it, so if there's any tin in it, we'll get it fished out. Somewhere. Poles seem to be pretty stout. Started taking this building down by hand. Got to be a lot of work. Should just had me come in the first place. Tanks that we're gonna get, take them home and test them. If there's no leaks, we're gonna use them for liquid fertilizer storage. Let me get some of these bolts off. Looks like they made this out of some rough sawn wood. the old sprayer dragging it out by the hitch. That pole's rounded off, but there's still 8 foot of it I can use at least. There's one bolt. They all might be routed off. I know they're bolted there at the top. At least that one is, anyways. We can trim that off a little bit. That one's not rotted. That's a good one. Good up there, biting it pretty hard with no problem. I didn't. Problem with these old buildings is trying to tear them apart. The wood's so dried out in them that you end up splintering everything if you're going to try to tear it apart to reuse it. Dad and I have tried to tear buildings apart in the past, and you start beating nails and stuff out of 2x4s, and the next thing you know, they're just splintered up junk. Well, my phone filled up, and I didn't realize it, so I was sitting here talking to myself for quite a while. I had to empty it out some. That these outside posts are routed off because the irrigation is hit on that side for years, and it's kept them really wet at the bottom. Let's see how this one is. That one's a good one. Lay him back here for now. Another one I can at least get 8 foot out of. Alright, had to take a phone call. There we go. Can't reach it. That little snag off there. Hit that one a little too hard. That's all right. Be all right for a fence post. Not like we're building a piano. Sort through that. It's got that fiberglass skylight material in it. That didn't work out as planned. Like a hay baler that I can run polar metal in. Make bales out of it. Darn it. chicken coop to tear down also. One door. There's another door. There's some roof. This truly was a pole barn. It's made out of round poles. Made myself a mess to clean up. It's time to go to lunch. Get this one last. There we go. Get these poles out real quick, and then we'll call it lunch. Well, we're going to see if we can get one of these tanks loaded up before we quit for the day. We got the pole barn all cleaned up, so George is getting us chained up here. Alright. They don't seem like they're too heavy. I'm going to set this on the trailer in the well. And we'll haul it home and roll it off. And we'll come back tomorrow and get the other one. The other one don't look like it has a lifting eye on it or anything on top. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah. Not nearly as heavy as that fuel tank that we unloaded a few months ago. Back the truck up a little bit. I can track forward some. Now the fun part, you have to chain it down. You have to throw chains up and over it with some ratcheting binders. Well, we got this tank loaded up last night and got busy doing some other things. Had to leave and go do a few other things. So I didn't get to finish the video last night, but once we got on the trailer, we realized something. It has holes all over in it. So this tank's no good. It's going to the scrapyard. We're going to get rid of it because it's got holes on this side all around the bottom, and it's got holes on the other side. So it's pretty much worthless other than scrap. So, well, we found this little propane tank out in the weeds. So I figured bring that home and use that for some sort of project. And we also brought one of the big ones home. This one's in pretty good shape. The other one was not, but this one's in real good shape. So we're gonna roll it off over here, and someday when we get some time, we'll get it cleaned up and get it put somewhere and get it leveled up, and then we can put some liquid fertilizer or some water or whatever we need in it. So we're gonna roll it off with little Richard. One of these days I need to get my green toilet to the shop and get it overhauled so I can put that in the new shop. Been saving it for that specific reason. I think it's gonna be a pretty nice green for the shop. Go ahead, George, knock it off of there. Oh, I'll throw some blocks under it to keep it rolled farther away from the path. Alright, so it is the afternoon of the next day, and good afternoon everybody. But we're heading over and we're going to tear down the little chicken coop that we got to take down next. It is right there. So we're going across the end of the seed corn field here. And it is seed corn because they left the male rows and the female rows have been detasseled. So that's how you can tell it's seed corn. And it has no in rows planted on it. That's another way you can tell it's seed corn field. So that's a whole nother discussion how seed corn works, and I don't even know the whole science behind it. That is like a whole deep subject in its own. Well, it has now come the time to tear down the old chicken coop. It does have a tin roof. We'll get some of that off. Got like a particle board insulation under that roof. So there's something in this front corner that I want to save, and I'll show you that here in a second. If I can save it without destroying it completely. Here's an overhead door. But that's not what I want to save. We'll load up all the wood and burn it. Try and get that without the wood because I'm going to scrap that. Scrap. this wall up without destroying what's behind it. That's what I want right there. 1947 cooler or freezer. It's all wood. Oops. That's not as rotten as I thought it was. But I thought I could take this cooler and revamp it and make a bathroom out of it in my shop. Put the green toilet in it. And I got some coon poop on top of it. It's not in the best of shape at the bottom, but I think I can build something to set it on. Make it into a bathroom. I think. But there it is. There we go. That's what I want to try to save. We'll see what happens. Dark plywood. Sort this metal out. Get some of this wood loaded out here and out of the way. I'll get this cleaned up a little bit. That's a good 4-inch tile fitting right there. Oh, there's another one up there too. home with us. I saved a couple bucks on the next tile project. So George and I are going to get the new bathroom for the shop here. We're feeling a little rough this morning. We baled 275 bale of hay yesterday. So, I mean, we're a little out of shape, but hey, we got it. So we might be moving a little slow in the video. But we're going to screw a 2x6 across here because the door won't go back on because all the dirt in the bottom, and I need to find some pins for the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap a ratchet strap around it, and the 2x6 is going to keep it from collapsing in the doorway at least. And then I'm going to hook a 4-way strap to that, and we're going to pick it right up and put it on the trailer. So let's see how this goes. Now I actually only need like 3 sides of this, or maybe even just 2 sides to make a bathroom out of it. I think it just went through the tongue and groove. It's not very thick. Shouldn't take much. You can't do that. Alright. I got 1 screw left. I might as well stick it somewhere. There we go. I just hate to see something like this go to waste. Oh yeah. Now this is a strap we use to lift the pontoon boat out of the river. Oh, this might be a problem. Yeah. Oh, crap. In theory, this should work. I'll get the excavator in position and see what happens. Ah, crap. It's a little more rotted than I thought it was. Well, this is definitely going to be a project, but we can salvage some of it to do what I want. Put it right there. That'll work. Oh, I got it, George. Perfect. Quick release. Didn't even have to get up there. Now I should smash it down a little bit so it sits flatter. But, yeah, we'll do something with it. We gotta get George's frost-free hydrant he wants. I'll have to dig that out for him. Yep, we got George's hydrant out for him, so he's tickled. We're gonna go ahead and bury that back for now. We're actually gonna come back later and clean all this concrete up, because where this concrete's gotta go, the corn is in the way, the seed corn, so gotta wait until that's harvested. So the concrete's gonna stay for now. So we're gonna take that load of scrap in and get rid of that, and we're gonna go round bale some hay today. So thank you for watching, greatly appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one. Have a good evening or have a good day, all depends on where you're watching this. Thanks for watching.